All right. Welcome back, guys. A little bit of technical difficulties on my part, but today we're gonna be having a discussion. It's your boy Jordan, and we're gonna be having a very special guest on the channel, Yasser. Someone who I have respect for his ball knowledge, and I'm just gonna let him introduce himself.
Yeah, man, I'm Yasser TV. Listen, big up to you, Jordan. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, man, listen. It's different when you've played the game. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different when you've played the game, but yeah, listen. The good thing is that we have respect for each other, and sometimes this is even whether I agree or don't agree with what you're gonna say. It's about the conversation and the willingness to listen to each other and understanding people's viewpoint, because remember everyone views things differently.
That's a fact.
So yeah, man, let's get into this chat and let's get into this chat.
Yeah. So, like I was saying before we had a little technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Um, I understand your stance on Garnacho. I understand it
Mhm.
completely, right? But the reason I'm willing to give Garnacho a chance is because I believe the manager sees something that he could work with, and I think he sees something he can build upon in terms of Garnacho's game because he's still young, so there's still a lot he could probably go and learn on the in terms of mentality. I'm not gonna really talk technically, but mentally and
Yeah.
how to make his decisions and as a player. What do you think about that?
I can't say no to that. The reason I can't say no to that is because we don't act these are things that happen in the future. So Garnacho can become something in the future. The problem is that I don't see it in this moment in time. Maybe I haven't got the vision,
Yeah.
but the thing is that we go with kind of with because people always say, "Oh, then why about Gittins, for example?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying we haven't seen enough of him to come to a conclusion yet. Now, there's certain players. So I'll give you an example. I said, um, I think that by last season, I told a lot of United fans that I speak to, yeah, that Xerxes wasn't trash. That's probably a bias because I'm Dutch, but then again, I've heard of him and what some of his football, but it's different because remember, people they're not seeing what's happening.
Mm.
So then you have Anthony. He was being thrown under the bus. I said, bro, when he leaves, he'll cook. Sancho was another one.
Mm.
But I never said that about Garnacho. The reason I never said that about him, for example, is because my thing's always been in that England, it became a thing where when they play football, they care more about the physicality, the athlete. You have to be an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
athlete first, football second. The problem with that is this is when we look at our goats and Ronaldinho's and that, bro, they have three chins, they have fat bellies and that, they can still kick ball. But then you
Mm.
have our like generation now that as soon as they get a certain injury, they can't kick ball anymore. Modric still plays even though he's old. Yeah, but he still plays football. Santi
KDB.
Cazorla still plays football. KDB, no, but Santi Cazorla's old now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's still kicking ball. But this is because they don't necessarily rely on their pace, but they have the IQ. So they
Mm-hmm.
can go further. And that kind of tells you the different level of player. So now, then you also have, let's say, like, if we could move it back to like a winger position thing now, yeah? When you speak about wingers, the way I've been brought up when I was young and played winger, the winger was creating for the strike.
Mm-hmm.
So your
Yep.
job is you run down the line, you beat your man, and then you cross it into the strike. Obviously, these things slightly change with having a false nine. The
Yeah.
false nine creates the goal scoring wingers. The problem now is that people, because they play a lot of FIFA, they just think that the winger can score goals regardless. But not every player is actually a goal scoring winger.
Mm.
Do you get it? Some players are either more link up players, or you have the players like Rashford, Garnacho, and those kind of players that are more running behind. Their things to run like a Doku. We can start look like a Leao. Their main thing is just running it behind. So you need to identify first what you need in your team because nowadays is a lot more system based,
Yep.
and then you add the player. So if you remember last season, what did we have? We had Sancho on the left,
Yep.
right?
Sancho and Mudrik.
Okay,
Yeah.
now cool. Mudrik was backup. Now it was nice to have Sancho when we played the ball and that whatever is fine. And then, but if you needed him to go in behind, that's not really his game. He can do it, but he can only do it well when he has a target man. So if you remember when he was at Dortmund, he'll pass that ball straight to Haaland, and then he can make that wide run. Do you get it? So that Haaland could flick it up to him and then he
Yeah.
can do that. We
Yeah.
weren't even overlapping.
Just to put a point, I do believe that Sancho would have definitely been a better fit, especially for this team, with especially with the likes of Delap and Pedro. When you look at Pedro, he's a very selfish striker. He's not a goal junkie. He just cares about the team scoring the goal. So if it comes down to
Mhm.
him having to, give like a little dummy to let Palmer run onto the ball like we saw yesterday, or a flick back for like let's say that first attempt on goal, when the
Yeah.
final, the Club World Cup final, you could see that he has that
Mhm.
IQ that you're looking for, especially. Um, so that's why I wouldn't say I would die on the Garnacho hill because man, when it comes to his decision making, especially him and Gittens, they're very inconsistent. They're inconsistent,
Mhm.
especially Gittens. I'm seeing it a lot more in Gittens, but I personally, I'm ready to give Garnacho at least a little bit of time. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna give him the whole season, but he has up until I would say the late November, early December for me to climatize. You know what I mean? Especially to this team.
But look, look, that's
Mm.
fine. Like, you see, for me, there's some people like even Lewis is one of them that said, look, he's at my club now, so I'm gonna give him time, even though I don't really rate him. But for example, I'll let him dig his own grave. But I'm gonna let him. He's gonna have the opportunity to prove me wrong, and if he does, some of us are actually fine with saying, "Listen, we were wrong," innit? Do you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yep.
But I'll go with the difference between, let's say, a Gittins and a Garnacho is actually the sample size that we've seen in terms of even though you can say that, let's say, United fans will tell you Garnacho's only was good when he used to come off the bench, right? He can impact games and whatever, whatever. We had that with Mudryk. We were so lucky last season before his whole thing with the whole whatever when he disappeared.
Yeah.
When he went bold and he had that Club World Cup period,
Bro.
he cooked. Now, if we just kind of put it on him, because I wanted to show you a few differences, yeah? Mudryk had his own problems similar to Cucurella when they first came. So there was under Potter, new country, all that kind of stuff, and his family's still in Ukraine, which is something a lot of people don't talk about. Whether you think the war's there or not, as a footballer, you're away, and he's only played 30 professional games it- at professional level. Right now, cool. We're the ones that spend the money on him. That's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
But he did well in his first game. But then remember, we had that team where people were laughing and saying like, "Where's everyone gonna change?" Aubameyang. Do you remember
Bro.
that? So
2023. Yeah. That was
he
horrible.
weren't playing. He was barely playing, even when at that point we were so poor and we're thinking just play him.
And his cameo was amazing too against Liverpool. I didn't understand why.
Milner, he cooked Milner, and then
Yeah.
we kind of he I think he had one bad game or something, and then we never saw him again.
Yeah.
Well, and then what happened to him? What happened? Poch came in. Now Poch was playing him more often, but in the beginning, what he was doing was when him and Madueke were not necessarily together, but it was them two that you can remember.
Yeah.
When they played well, he dropped them the next game.
Yeah.
But when they were playing poorly, he'd keep playing them. And it was like, it doesn't build confidence. Because remember, these are young players. I know that we spend a lot of money on them nowadays, but the mentality on each of them is not the same. You still have to kind of do the similar ways of building them up. This is why a lot of them speak about process. It's not that I agree with it, but if you don't want to do that, you go and get a ready-made player. But if this is how you're gonna go, you still have
Mm-hmm.
to treat them because otherwise you're ruining your investment as well in terms of buying the amount of money you're spending on a player. But then he went in Poch. But if you remember on the left hand side, he would play in the half spaces. He
Yep.
wouldn't play out wide. So do you remember when we played Aston Villa and then at some point they stopped passing him the ball at the
Yeah.
end of the quarter? Why? Because what was happening is he
You'd
would
lose
play in
it.
the half spaces. He'd get the ball in the half space, but then he has a centre back next to him, one of the eights from the opposition, and another player. And then by the time he figures out where he wants to go, maybe not an overlap or whatever, he'd lose the ball.
Yeah.
Whereas if he was out wide, he would get more. Yeah, it was so evident that it became a thing where it was like, okay, you know what? People are cooking him,
Yeah.
but it looks like an instruction thing because a winger's first thing in your mind is not to actually be in the half spaces unless you're playing in the 10. But we never played two tens. Do you know what I'm saying? So it
Yeah.
didn't make sense. The real big difference that we saw is when he started playing Conference League games under Maresca. The difference was that our team was finally being coached because on the pitch, you remember, it was literally just freestyle.
Yep.
Go on the pitch, everyone press their man, and then if we find space in behind or someone wins us a game, whatever. The problem when you do that with younger players is if they don't know where to be, is where you had those issues with players passing back because they're like, I don't know where to pass it. And because you don't know what the system's like or where
Yeah,
someone's going to be, it's a freestyling thing. So the first thing in your mind
yeah,
is, let
and
me
then
not lose the ball.
they don't even
I'll
have
pass the ball.
the chemistry because it's like a new team as well to find each other. So there's that as
Yeah. So
well.
who are the players that usually uh kind of prevail? That's a Palmer and stuff because they're
Yeah,
like, we
Palmer,
don't need time on the ball. We don't necessarily need time on the ball, and we're good
Jackson.
football.
Jackson was a little,
Jackson did a little bit because of the
yeah.
whole link up play. Who had good feet and stuff like that. So yes, we did get our wins in certain games, but the foundation was not there,
Yeah.
and you couldn't really judge the players that we saw on the pitch because of that. Because I looked at players and I thought, yes, he's failing, but if he knew what he was doing or there was a structure, specifically, let's
Yeah,
say in
yeah,
defense, you'd understand. You'd understand. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's the margins and stuff. Yeah,
No, it's okay. So you'd understand, innit? So like, then we went into the Maresca era, and you actually see Mudryk getting coached. He knows where he needs him. He knows where he needs to be. He played in the 10. In some games, he played out wide. And then he, at some point, became our backup option to Sancho. So if you had Sancho and he was playing, was it Ipswich? No, Nottingham Forest. Do you remember? We played
yeah.
him wherever it
I
didn't
do.
work, took him off. Mudryk ran the whole side of the pitch because then we had more space in behind. So each player can provide you different things. Now, with the Gittins, he's a better dribbler than Garnacho,
Yeah,
and he's a better shooter than Garnacho. But they're actually similar profiles in terms of their like running and behind. So there's literally no difference in them two. The problem is with Garnacho, he started games and he's kind of been given a little bit of freedom. So what happened is he was on the bench first, got his name up, and he kind of got the up because Ten Hag liked him. So he wanted to go bring the whole thing. So he brought him on. He was lucky enough to play with the CR7 and all these people. And then he started to kind of he became more of a brand than a
very,
player.
very confident. He got very confident, and I think
Yeah, yeah,
that's to his own detriment, because he would end up like trying stuff that he doesn't really have the capabilities right now to do, and you could see it in his decision making where he would have like very simple passes opened up to him for Man United, whether it's like a tap, and he could open up for like a player, and he would just go and try
yeah.
go for a curler or something spectacular most of the time. But here's my
Yes.
my argument. It's now
Hmm.
that he's out of that system, and we could really, if we're being honest, we know that Man United was very structureless, and and even when they try to play within certain structures under Ten Hag, even now under Amarim, these players just they don't. A lot of them don't really have the capabilities, and a lot of them aren't even really the right profile to work in that system,
Hmm.
right? So now
Yeah.
when he's coming to Chelsea, I think we're gonna see. I don't want to say the best of him, on our Raheem Sterling thing, but
Yeah, Sterling said that when he went to Arsenal. So that's
right?
you know what I mean?
But I
Yeah.
do think we're gonna see a lot better of a version of him because I trust Maresca. I really rate Maresca really highly, especially after the Club World Cup. I was seeing how he was
Yeah.
just like his tactical approach to most of the teams. You could see that he studies his every team he goes against, and he looks to attack that weakness right away, especially PSG,
Hmm.
right? So now that I'm looking at it, I'm not really looking at Garnacho like he's going to be a great Premier League player. I think the Champions League is where he's gonna be. It's gonna be his bread and butter because you can see in his confidence with that high liner. We're gonna be getting most of the time out of these championship teams. He might get a chance to cook. That's what I think. He got
Yo,
coming to
listen, I was thinking more the Carabao Cup games, man. You know what I mean? So when he said Champions League, no, I hear it. I know what you mean because you mean the spacing behind and stuff like that. That
yeah.
you get in the Champions. You're right.
Mhm.
I, for me, I only seen him as a backup option, so I don't necessarily ever seen him as a starter. So I knew that if he came in, I'd see him as a backup option. Now, did Gittins necessarily help himself with his performances? No, but if you look at Gittins, it's
Mhm.
more you can tell he's not confident. As
Mhm.
in, He's reserved. He doesn't necessarily know where some of the players are going to be. He looks like he doesn't know when to go short or when to go out wide to make the run. Like where he's going to expect the ball from someone in the middle. To like when someone in the middle wants to play the ball out
Yeah,
wide, he wants to go short and realizes the ball's gone.
yeah, he's
I
still
think
climatizing.
you know what I noticed. I don't know if you've noticed this. Yeah, obviously they call him the Maresca. What do they call him? The Pep disciples. They call them. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Remember when Mahrez went to City?
First time, yeah.
Grealish went to City. The first season, they all
Especially
look rubbish.
Grealish.
Remember, the first thing people say to you is, "Oh, look at
Bro.
them, look at them. Oh, they don't look the same."
Yep.
And then a year or two later, completely different. But
Mm-hmm.
what I've noticed is that they kind of, and we've realized this with Maresca, the one season thing. Yeah, you see how much our systems actually changed. The way people speak about our back line and a goalkeeper. I know that yesterday wasn't that great, but you get the point. It's like it's not the same as same way they spoke about them last season. Because last season the goalkeeper and the defense it was a bit very shaky.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the way we started playing at the back, and when your goalkeeper makes mistakes, your defenders are always on edge because they don't know should we make this tackle or is he gonna get it or not. You overplay it as a defender because you want to make up for what the goalkeeper doesn't provide.
Yep.
Just so that you don't want to. Let's not give him. Let's not let him come out and get it. We'll get it, and then you see mistakes. But now it's a bit more. The goalkeeper knows he can go long because we also have strikers. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's a bit more calmer with the goalkeeper. He was really good yesterday, in my opinion. To be fair, besides the you can say Tosin's fault or someone else's fault for the goal. For me, it was more Tosin because
Yeah.
I felt like you shouldn't have let him go on his right foot. But some people say you should have saved that. For me, it's like once you get a player down there, it's easy because once he beats that defender, he can either go left or right. So, but in terms of the end of the game, you've seen how many literally last ditch saves he made, bro. We
Mm-hmm.
thought we might win it, but that's a
Yeah.
different story.
Yeah.
But another thing where we'll take it back to the Garnacho thing, yeah, where I mean, for me, Garnacho looks like he will do this thing like what he did to us yesterday, yeah. He'll
Mm-hmm.
give you something, but then he'll take it away before you take it.
Mm-hmm.
Because now a lot of people, I've seen some people do the whole that are on your side in terms of the whole I'll give him time and that. They were saying, well, the ball shouldn't have gotten to the back post in the first place because of the way we were defending, yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't see it because it still got there.
Yep.
Like whether it
Regardless.
should have or shouldn't have got there.
Because let's be
If he
honest.
was if he was protecting
Mm-hmm.
if he was with his player, then maybe if anything happened, then we can say he was still with his player. That player just managed to get over him, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah. That was
But
my
he's
problem
just
with it yesterday as well. But that's why
yeah,
I
because he
was
was out of
saying like
position. But
I can't
that's
defend
where
that.
the mentality comes from, Jacko. Sorry, bro. Yeah, that's where the mentality comes from.
Mm.
You see, the mentality you could talk about. My issue's always been him. It's been his self awareness because he thinks he's such a good player, but in
Yeah.
reality, he's nowhere near where he thinks he is.
It's
And
kind
I
of like
think
Bruno.
yes, you can say the confidence helps. Yeah, like but it's like the confidence. You were saying the confidence will help him. Being confident is important.
Yeah.
Being overconfident in terms of
It's
when
detrimental.
it doesn't level up like your ability and your actual thing, it becomes a thing where you just what is he doing? Because remember, even for the goal, Caicedo scored the goal and he was telling everyone, "Come and celebrate with me." Like you'd think he scored, and it's
Yeah.
not even a hating thing. Look, he can celebrate. These teammates celebrate.
Yeah. But
But it's just these things where you don't want that. I don't want him to just be an issue in that changing room and ruin what we've done from before. Do you get it?
I get
Because
it.
you know that we've had this before where a Conte has an issue with a Diego Costa and then ends up leaving. You get a different manager, or this player doesn't like this manager, and things boil over. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if he doesn't start playing, what is he gonna do in that changing room? We just hope that they just end up selling him and we can keep it moving. And but I also don't want it to be a thing where it ruins the vibe and everything we have
Yeah.
going on,
When it comes
and you
to
don't build on that.
Garnacho's attitude, I'm not really necessarily worried about that. One, because there's Enzo's there, right? So his countryman. So he's gonna help him keep in check because hey, you just came from a team that was finishing 16, 17. You gotta humble yourself at least a little bit, right? You came to the
Mhm.
Club World Cup champions. Then secondly, there's gonna be other like figures in the team like Palmer that he knows he's not better than. So you can't be acting up too crazy. Joe Pedro, you definitely know you're not better than. He could do a
With
job
that
on the
so
left.
with that level of self awareness, Jordan, he thinks he's
Ah,
better than
yeah.
all of them. Like that's what the
Mm,
problem we don't get. He's
Mm.
coming in saying, "Yo, I'm playing with these man now." Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because this is the thing. Part of the reason he's probably come to Chelsea, if we're gonna be honest, yeah,
Yeah.
because he had good offers to be starter somewhere else, yeah, Napoli and all these other clubs,
Yeah.
is because it's part of the reason of how we sell. Because a lot of the players that we sell, we don't sell them to low level teams. We sell players to like top four
AC
teams or
Milan,
other teams. Do you get me?
Portland. Yeah.
So he knows that he even if he doesn't go from there, he could be getting a better offer if it doesn't work out for him and goes still somewhere else. So
Mm.
look, I'm not really thinking about that now because obviously we're still in the season. It's all about what he can provide me within the season. And I said, yo, if he wins me the league or the Champions League, bro, I'm doing the same video I done, cussing him out, apologizing, blood. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But I've always not liked him, regardless of whether it was a Chelsea thing or not.
Mm-hmm.
So because I've always called him the worst left winger in the league,
Mm.
I'm not gonna now change my mind
That's
when he
crazy.
comes here. Because if you can name me better or worse left wingers than him, yeah, we can
I
think
would
about it.
I
But
would say Brendan Johnson though. I say Brendan Johnson doesn't really offer that much compared to a Garnacho.
yeah, but yeah, listen, he does the back post thing. He can still
Yeah.
score them goals from the back post. So he can probably say, maybe not as a winger, but boom, cool.
Mm.
But then I had a stat, like he had the worst dribble percentage in the league last season,
Yeah.
and he
Yep.
played basically all the games. So then
That's
you're
a
looking
big
at it, okay,
problem with
then
me
what?
when it comes to Garnacho because it's like the huge sample size and you not kind of not necessarily improving on it because you barely have a system. You barely have a system that's working. And let's be honest, most of the
Mhm.
United players started doing their own thing in the games, right? So at least show me that you're improving in something, right? Whether it's your decision
Yeah.
making, start trying to get more assists, or
Mhm.
your shots are a lot more on target over the course of the season. I'm not really seeing that, right? So that's
Yeah,
why
but
it's hard for me to make this like that's why I won't die on that hill. That's why I won't die on that hill, man.
you're fact, bro. You're speaking facts because this is the thing. I've looked at their team. I've been watching their team for a while because my younger brother is also he's a
Mine's as well.
United fan.
Mine's as well.
So you end up watching either the game with him or you start watching it just because you were used to watching it. So you see last season, there's certain players that when the team level goes down, their level of performances go down.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that they're rubbish. It's just that it's football. It's a team game.
Yeah.
Palmer, for example, whether the team's playing well or not, sometimes you can keep that level up. But
Yep.
those are special players, isn't it? So you don't
Caicedo
put
as
the
well.
special players
Yep.
on the same level as the normal players, yeah.
Yeah.
But with like Ahmad always plays above his level when he's at that team, right? You can see, okay, this guy he's
Yeah.
trying, but he's quite levels when you're looking at the rest of the team. You can tell Ahmad's actually a baller at that team. You know, now they've added Mbeumo and that's a different story. But before, in terms of last season,
Yeah.
when he was getting the chances, it was literally him and Kobe Mainu. Casemiro's obviously older now, but then you look around, there's not really any much quality. So when you had someone like a Garnacho in the team, who was supposed to be someone that was part of that upcoming, like you know how we had Reece James, Mount, and like that team. Remember, it was Casem. Well, for them, it was Garnacho, Hoyland, and this guy. Those were
Mm.
the ones that were supposed to be the guys that are upcoming and being part of the main team and that. And then you see what he was doing on the pitch. It's not dribbling, it's ball carrying, bro.
Mhm.
You know what Declan Rice does in midfield is what he does out
Yeah.
wide.
Yeah, and Jude as
Kick the
well.
ball and
Oh,
chase it.
Jude is kind of like
Kind of thing. That's what he does. Not the same, but it's like you just move it.
yeah.
Then he gets into good positions, but he's too selfish. Or he gets into good positions and then he
That's the
just
thing.
skies the shot.
His decision making.
Now he can't do that at Chelsea because it won't last long in terms of not just the fans, also the teammates will just like boom. He can't because this is the thing. We can't afford to have someone that wastes our chances, specifically while we're now becoming a thing where we still have PTSD from last season. Yeah, if you keep missing chances, it will cost you games. No, we haven't really improved now, as in we've improved a little bit more, but Brentford and that you can say we never took some of our chances, whatever, whatever. That's a different story, and the quality wasn't on the pitch. But it's like I can't have him do that on the left
Yeah. Well, how I
because
look
if
at
he was a shooter,
Garnacho, yeah,
okay,
sorry about that. But how I look at
yeah,
Garnacho, I look at him as kind of like a Nani Madueke on the left. Like he just wants to score goals, right? Like because we know the problem with Nani. Nani sometimes he would give a cutback after the teammates are like, yo, like like I'm right here, and they're really talking to
Because
him.
he does the stuttering thing. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah, he
yeah.
stutters and then the chance is gone to pass.
So
Yeah, yeah,
to close down our discussion, right? I want to ask you
yeah.
what will make you say or tolerate Garnacho being in this team? What does he have to give back in as in a return on investment? To yeah,
Listen, he helps
I'm
me
not
win
gonna
the
crash
league
it.
or the Champions League. Bro. You
All
get me?
right,
I told man, bro, you win me the league or the Champions League, bro.
I
Like, if he
respect that.
does that, listen, we're chilling.
So
No, but
you're not on like GA. You don't really care too much on the GA. You just want him to positively
uh,
contribute.
it, yes, I need him to actually help me win games or like actually. I want when I say win games, obviously you need goals to win games,
Yeah,
innit?
of course. Yeah, yeah.
But for me, it's if you remember last season when we're losing games, it's because we've missed goals in important times of the game.
Mhm.
So if you score a certain goal in a certain time, it kills the games off. Like it kills the game off. You're now comfortable. Let's say
Yeah,
you get it. It's different to when you're 1-1 or 1-0 the whole game and then you concede at the end when you miss two chances. Do you get it? So just scoring goals when you need to score them. It just look for me. It's I don't want to come in and say 20 GA because we know he's not going to score 20 GA. That's people. That's the numbers people are talking about Gyökeres and that. You know what I mean? That's a different story. But for me, it's about what he actually contributes to the team because GA for me is different, isn't it? He might not play as much for me to say GA
you can have a
because I
good
can
game
say
without it
15
too.
GA,
You can have a good game without
huh?
GA as well. You can have a good game without GA.
Yeah. You see what they're doing to Madueke now, innit? You know what I'm saying? When he was playing without GA and we were saying he was playing well, they were cooking us saying, where is his
Yeah,
GA? Now they're telling me he was playing amazing without GA. So you can see what he contributes to the team because as if he comes on and he can actually help the team play better football, that equals goals. Essentially, at some point, that will equal goals.
for sure.
So it's what he offers to the team. And then if I just feel like it's holding the team back, then listen, it's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I
We'll sell
agree.
it. But if he can help us, then you know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm good. This is where you can hear other people say, "Listen, I wanted this player or that player or this player playing on that
Yeah.
wing." I hear it, but this is what we have now, innit? So
Okay.
let's see what happens, bro. Let's see what happens.
For sure, bro. Yeah, I appreciate you for coming on and having this discussion. I definitely want to plan to have some more discussions. It's just I'm working out a schedule right now, because right now I'm supposed to be working, but because someone springed up like an opportunity for me to just do a little gig. So,
Mm.
but because we planned this out, what I mean, I have to stay true to it. So I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, same. I was thinking, yeah, oh, I have to make sure that I wrote it down somewhere because I was like, bro,
Yeah.
otherwise you forget. Same way you, because bro, I have someone got me on the channel the other day. I had
Mhm.
something going on today. I have something going on tomorrow. I
That's
have
great.
something going on Tuesday. So what ends up happening is if you confuse it,
Yeah, I gotta
you,
put it in
you
my
you end up
calendar.
thinking I'm with Jordan yesterday or was Jordan tomorrow. So I have to make sure you know exactly when it is because
Yeah, man.
if you tell someone yes, you gotta stand on it, and it's just one of those things, bro.
Sure, man. But hey, Yasa, I appreciate you having you on. Look forward
Yeah,
to
man.
any more discussions in the future. Everyone, make sure you
Hmm.
guys subscribe to his channel. The link is the first comment in the description or on the description. And yeah, have a great day, my guy. For sure, man.
Peace, man. Peace. No.
That's up. Yeah.